This is the Cowboy Basketball Roundup with Oklahoma State head coach Travis Ford. We've got lots to cover, so let's just jump right into highlights. Final non-conference game before Big 12 play began. UMKC in Gallagher-Iba Arena. And this game was a low-scoring game, especially early on, but UMKC had a couple nice wins coming into this game.
Yeah, UMKC had already beat Mississippi State, obviously of the SEC, and their best win was probably against South Dakota State, who has a great team this year. So we knew they were going to be a good opponent, but we got off to a great start. I thought we really played well early, and then kind of typical of us for most of the year, kind of played in spurts from that point on.
Jeffrey Carroll knocks down the three-point shot there as you took the early lead. Why do you think this team plays in spurts like that?
Well, I think just the inexperience. If you look at our basketball team, there's only really one player, maybe two, that has played significant minutes at this level, being Jeff Newberry and Tavares Shine. So these guys are, coming out of the Florida game, leading into the UMKC game, even going back to the Minnesota game, I thought we'd been playing the best basketball of the year, but we took 10 days off between this UMKC game and the Florida game, so we really didn't know what to expect from our team. So we still had a little bit of rust on us from the 10 days off from Christmas.
Jeff Newberry in the corner, knocking down the shot there. That's the last game you'll see with that mask. And it was problematic for him, but he eventually got used to it.
He didn't like the mask, and it kind of became a psychological deal with him. He got a little more used to it, but much more comfortable without it on, obviously.
Cowboys take the lead into double digits, and as I mentioned, a low-scoring game. But here you go, your defense turning into offense here, and Jeffrey Carroll finishing with the
We're going to need that. That's some point of emphasis for us right now, is to let our defense create offense for us, try to get deflections, steals, blocks. Anthony Allen, I think, had 6 blocks in this basketball game, which we needed. We need to hang our hat on defense. Our defense needs to lead us for the rest of the year, because we can, as we've seen, our offense can really come and go.
And Juwan Evans of the basket there, and as we look at those first half stats, you basically doubled up UMKC in terms of field goal percentage in the first half. And the one thing I know that you were concerned about, I can remember from our halftime interview with you, the turnovers may be a little higher than you wanted first half.
Yeah, they've been higher for the last couple of games than what they should be. Most of them are really coming from our 4s and 5s positions a lot. We're getting some turnovers, some bad passes, some walks inside, or 3 seconds, whatever it may be. We need to do a better job going forward of taking care of the basketball, especially when you struggle offensively like we can at times. The more opportunities you have to shoot, the better off you're going to be. And we always say, our offense needs to complement our defense. And one way to do that is make sure you don't turn the ball over.
We'll look at the second half highlights of the Cowboys' win over UMKC after these messages. We're back on the Cowboy Basketball Roundup with head coach Travis Ford. Let's move along. Second half highlights of Oklahoma State's win over UMKC. You're up 8 at half. Want to point out something here that we may not see too evident in the highlights. UMKC had Martez Harrison as a prominent player on their squad. Last year's WAC Player of the Year. He's averaging 15 points per game coming in. He scored 1 point.
And that's something we try to take a lot of pride in, is trying to stop the other team's best player. We really challenge our guards, especially with a Player of the Year in the league coming into your own building. You got to rise to the challenge, and our guys did in this game. You see the passing. That's something that when we pass the ball or we make the extra pass or we dribble, drive, and kick, our offense is so much better.
And we talked about the turnovers in the first half. The thing is, what's becoming a bit of a trend is, as we see Jeff Newberry finish, second half turnovers drop. You only had 3 in the second half of this game, and that's happened probably 3 or 4 times.
Well, it usually takes a halftime talking to a little bit to our players to make sure you remind them that, as the clock starts winding down in the second half, and, every possession becomes that much more valuable. That's a big shot right there by Tyree Griffin. And you look at UMKC, they cut it to 3. He gets inside their zone. They played a zone for 40 minutes. We got inside their zone and played inside to out. And that's something we were begging our players to do. We just didn't do enough of it. There you go, inside to out, inside to out, inside to out. And then Tyree makes another big shot. I thought Tyree Griffin probably played his best game of the year against UMKC.
First game of the year scoring in double figures with 11 points, but his contributes go way beyond that, and there's one of those 6 blocks by Anthony Allen,
6
too.
blocks that lead to points. We need that. Yeah, Tyree is one of the toughest, if not the toughest player in our team. All the players love playing with him because the type effort you're going to get from him and the toughness. Now, he's going to make some mistakes every once in a while, but I love his toughness. as his teammates say and we as coaches, he's the type player you can go to war with.
You see the Cowboys pulling away here late against UMKC as OSU rolls to victory. And Anthony Allen with another block. He's had 6 blocks now in 2 different games.
Yeah, you know, that's on his resume. He better block shots. He better rebound the basketball. That's what he's supposed to do. And we tell him his role on our team is to protect the rim. There's the best block of the night right there.
That is a major league block by Anthony Allen, who's now second in the Big 12 Conference in blocked shots. And you're able to roll to victory over UMKC in Gallagher-Iba Arena. I want to go back to the point of turnovers as Jeffrey Carroll makes that shot. What happens in the second half? When the team plays offense in front of your bench in the second half, especially a young team, and you're smiling,
Yeah.
even though they can't see it, how much difference does that make?
It makes a huge difference. We're pretty much trying to orchestrate what's going on the court. No different on defense. In the first half, we're able to call out screens. We're able to, orchestrate our team, especially an inexperienced team, which we have. And something we always talk about at halftime is, all right, you're going away from us on defense, so you have to rely on your own talking. You're going to rely on your trust of your teammates. We'll help you through your offense this half. And that's why I think in the second half of our offense, we cut down the turnovers a little bit. We probably played a very much higher percentage, field goal percentage and things like that in the second half.
Coming up, we look at the highlights of the Cowboys' Big 12 opener against TCU on the Cowboy Basketball Roundup. It was opening weekend in Big 12 Conference play, and for Oklahoma State, that meant a home date with the TCU Horned Frogs in Gallagher-Iba Arena, 2 teams that came in at 8-4 to start the year. And Anthony Allen with the bucket here, and again, another low-scoring game, but boy, early on, a lot of good things.
A lot of really good things. Anthony Allen, I thought, got us off to a great start, blocking some shots, scoring in the post. I thought Jeff Newberry played an very good overall game. There you see Anthony Allen finishing inside off a second shot. But our defense is what fueled us. Our defense was absolutely tremendous in this game, pretty much from beginning to end.
And hand in hand with that, you out-rebounded TCU by 8 rebounds in the first half, and I know going into it, that was an area of concern for you.
It was. They're a big basketball team. They've got a lot of height and a lot of physicality inside, and I thought we did a great job of blocking out and pursuing the basketball.
Neither team shot a high percentage in the first half necessarily. Your team shot 32% and TCU shot 30%. But despite that, you played with about a 10-point lead for much of the first half.
Well, I thought we played pretty much 35 minutes of great basketball. We had a 5-minute let up going into the half. The last 5 minutes of the first half, I didn't think we played very well. But for 35 minutes, I thought our defense was as good as it's been. Our rebounding was as good as it's been. Our focus. I was very proud of the effort and the execution. That's great execution off a play we run. Very, very proud of the focus. And our players played very fundamental in this game. We were very fundamental as far as being very solid, didn't make a lot of mistakes.
And a number of block shots in the game, and it seemed like for large stretches of the game, TCU had a hard time getting anything out of its half-court offense.
Yeah, again, I think our guys really tuned in to our scouting report, took away a lot of options for TCU. And something we talk about is we got to make them take tough shots. And you see every shot so far TCU's taken, they're tough. We're making them take challenged, pressured, tough shots.
And Leighton Hammonds as a driver had 11 points in the game as a driver.
Yeah, you don't see. He'd much rather shoot a 3, but we've been begging him to drive the basketball, get to the foul line, get to the rim. And he really did a good job, especially in the second half, of taking advantage of what we would call mismatches. He's a mismatch problem at the 4 spot.
And the Cowboys start the second half strong with a big run, a 10-1 run, and Jawan Evans the first 5 minutes of the second half. So safe to say he just sort of took over the game.
Jawan Evans took over the game. When he really gets his game going, he gets a sweat going, he gets loose. He's hard to guard.
Boy, and the next thing you know, you look up, and the lead is expanded to 20 points. There's Hammonds with the 3 and 52% shooting in the second half for your squad.
Yeah, that's that's great for our team to shoot 52%. We scored 43 points in the second half, and that's the best possession of offense maybe all year long. Every single player touched it. The ball never hit the floor, and you make a 3 in the corner, and the bench celebrates. So probably one of the best offensive possessions we've had.
And you forced TCU into turnovers. you were a little concerned because TCU had been forcing its opponents into turnovers as Burton can't quite finish. Newberry takes care
He's not
of
going to
it.
be too happy about that highlight.
Oh, you know what? You know, with the DVR nowadays, they can just skip forward. It never happened.
That's
never
right.
happened.
Tough shot by Newberry, but it goes in. But yeah, you know, TCU had been forcing 17 turnovers a game, and something we talked to our team a lot about is take care of the basketball.
And Juwan Evans with a finish there. He scored all 13 of his points in the second half as the Cowboys just
Great
continued.
find there.
Yes.
Just a great assist, great shot.
And Newberry with a 23-point game, matching his career high without the mask. Talked about that in the UMKC game.
Yeah, I just think he's so much more comfortable without it.
Sure. How can you not be?
Yeah, how can you not be? And it's a psychological thing as well. And, you know, he's been spending a lot of extra time in the gym. He's really been getting in and working on his game, and it paid off for him. And that's something for all of our players to recognize, that he hadn't been shooting the ball the way he'd want to. So he's been getting in afterwards, working with the coaches, getting in extra time, and it's paid off.
From professional baseball to college basketball, the story of Cody McElroy coming up.
Something that's not really all that uncommon at Oklahoma State, going from professional to college sports. And in Cody McElroy's case, he's going from the minor leagues to walking on the Cowboy basketball team.
Baseball was the first love. When I was like 4 years old, I started playing, and I loved it ever since. Through junior high and high school, I played them both, but in high school, I kind of knew that I was going to play college baseball, and so in the summers and stuff, I'd play baseball instead of AAU basketball. I never did any of that because I was focused on baseball. My freshman year, I went to Eastern Oklahoma State Junior College. I played there for a year. My sophomore year, I went to the University of Texas, and I played there for 1 year. My junior year, I transferred back home to Cameron University in Lawton, and I played there for a year, and then after that season was when I got drafted by the Braves. They called me and they said, in a week, we're sending you to Danville, Virginia, which is a tiny town with nothing there. It's a rookie ball league. They sent me out there. I had a host family, great family. I still talk to them today. And everybody's in the same boat. It's pretty much everybody's first year. All the guys that get drafted go to that team, and so you go there and you show up and you start playing. You play every single day. I think we had 68 games in 72 days.
After rookie ball, Cody was called up to single A, but decided to walk away for a chance to play college basketball.
Well, going into spring training, I was kind of thinking about, do I want to go back? Do I want to try doing something else? And so I said, I'll give myself a couple of months because I can't start till school starts next year anyways. And so I went out there, I played spring training through March, I played through April, played through most of May, and I just knew I wanted to try something else. And with the 5-year eligibility requirements with the NCAA, I only had 1 year to get to do this. So I knew if I wanted to try to play basketball, I had to go back right then and do it. I was talking to a couple of different schools, and I showed up here one day and walked around the gym until I found somebody. And one thing led to another, and I got in contact with the coaches. They had me out here for the workout. From the very first day I got here in the summer, I meshed really well with the guys, and I've made some really good friends already. It wasn't much of a transition as far as that goes, and so that helps a lot when you have friends around you. Like I said, it's a lot different, but it's been a lot of fun, and I don't regret it one bit.
As far as the future is concerned, Cody hasn't ruled out baseball, but right now he's just enjoying the moment.
Haven't thought a whole lot about it yet because, you know, going to 4 different schools and playing pro ball and now here playing college basketball, I never know what's going to happen. So I'm trying not to think about that too much and trying not to plan too far in advance. But if that's something that happens and it works out that way, you know, it very well could happen.
When we come back on the Cowboy Basketball Roundup, Coach Ford and I preview a big game and a challenging environment as the Cowboys head to Morgantown to face the West Virginia Mountaineers. We break down that matchup when we come back. We're back to wrap things up on the Cowboy Basketball Roundup, and boy, finishing up a big road week. You'll be in Morgantown, West Virginia Saturday to play the Mountaineers and Bob Huggins' squad.
Well, never an easy place to play. I mean, that's anywhere in the Big 12, but you know they're going to press you for 40 minutes. They're going to be aggressive on defense in the half court, full court. Got a lot of players returning on their team. You got to take care of the basketball. Number one, you got to take care of the basketball and make sure you get good shots and then rebound. One of the top offensive rebounding teams in the country.
For head coach Travis Ford, I'm Dave Hunziker. Thanks for watching the Cowboy Basketball Roundup, and we'll see you next time.